Hello, happy Transfer Tuesday. We paid off our truck, but that's not the only transfer that we've made this week, so let's get into them. But first of all, Transfer Tuesday is the day of the week where we make money moves in a positive direction, either paying off debt, as we're doing here today, but also saving and investing, which we will also be doing. My family has been working towards paying off over $500,000 in debt, but we are also investing pretty aggressively as well. And these Transfer Tuesdays have really helped us stay motivated and consistent with our debt payoff journey. So I really encourage anyone to make any kind of money moves weekly on Tuesday or any day of the week so that you can make even more progress towards your goals. Being consistent is really a key here. All right, so I'm going to go through our transfers of the past week in the order that they happened. The first one is my husband's student loans. They came out like late Tuesday last week or early Wednesday. That was $382. We're just paying the minimums on these right now. His balance now after paying those is $32,528. So we're making very slow progress on these, but the interest rates on these loans are all pretty low. Some of them are as low as 2.5%. I think the highest one is 4.28. So we're not really trying to pay these off early, but if we do get the chance, we're going to go after those higher interest rate ones and then let the other ones just continue to be paid as normal. We're currently on a 10-year payoff plan. That's our goal, is to pay those off in 10 years, but we may pay them off sooner, who knows. My next transfer was an automatic transfer towards investments, and that was an Acorns Roundup. I use Acorns as my after-tax brokerage account. I just contribute the bare minimum of $5 every month, and then roundups whenever they occur, which happens like anytime I make a purchase on my credit cards or transfer out of my checking account, then the change is rounded up and invested into Acorns. So this week, actually just I think yesterday, I had a roundup of $5.58 towards my Acorns account. I'm not really prioritizing the after-tax brokerage. At one point I was, once I was maxing out all of my other retirement accounts, but I haven't been doing that for a while. So the balance has been sitting around $16,000 for the past year or two because I've only been doing about $15 a month into that. My next transfer was a payment towards our truck. This was the automatic payment that comes out every other Monday. This was for $311.07. And this brought our balance down to just over $606 remaining on the loan. And I just wanted to get that over with. And so I made a payment for the remaining balance of $606.89. So we have completely paid off the truck this year. At the beginning of the year, we still owed about $13,000, and we put a lot towards it in January, and then we took a pause and we put a lot towards it, especially last month. I think we did a little over $5,000 last month on the truck, but we also have our biweekly payments or fortnightly payments of $311.07. So that's usually over $600 a month in this truck payment. Some months it's like over $900 because if there's 3 Mondays and the payments fall on those 3 Mondays, we have to pay 3 times. So it's really nice to be eliminating this monthly payment towards our truck because it was quite a bit. Some more information on this loan. We took it out in 2023 at the end, September, I think, of 2023. Right before my daughter was born, we bought my husband a brand new truck, a Ford Maverick. And we put, I think, about $10,000 down, plus he traded in his car, which wasn't worth very much. So I think our original loan was $24,000, and we had taken out a 3-year loan at a 5.69% interest rate. So by paying the truck off now, we have saved about a year and a half of the loan length. I'm not really sure how much interest that's saving us, just because it wasn't a very long loan or a very high interest rate loan. But to get those monthly payments over with is really a relief. It's really going to free up a lot of money in our budget so that we can focus on other goals. So moving forward, we still have other debts that we're paying off. As you saw, we had the student loans that we're making minimum payments on. But I also have a retirement account loan that was going to be my next focus. I currently owe also about like $34,000 on that, which also has a low interest rate, I think of 4.25%. And all of that interest gets paid back to me. So I'm not too worried about paying all that interest. And I'm also not worried about losing time in the market quite so much, because after I took that loan out, I was maxing out my retirement accounts. So in terms of the amount that I took out, I had replaced that already. I just hadn't paid off the loan, because I figured that if at any point I wanted to put extra towards my retirement above the max, I could always pay back the loan. That would be a way to put in more than the max. But in these past 2 years, we've had to cut back on our retirement contributions. And so I was no longer maxing out my retirement. And then I was just paying the minimums on the loan as well. But I would like to get that loan out of the way, because it keeps me tied to my employer. And I would never be able to leave my job until it got paid off. So if you've seen any of my other videos, I mentioned that I would like to retire early, become a stay-at-home mom, as my daughter is just over a year and a half, and I would like to spend more time with her while she's still growing up. So it's been a goal of mine in this past year and a half to get that retirement account loan paid off so that it's not hanging over my head and I can retire sooner rather than later. So even though the truck has been paid off, there's still going to be a lot of transfers upcoming in the next couple of months or years even, as we work towards paying off all of these other debts and we continue saving and investing. Every Tuesday after payday, I go over our retirement contributions from our paychecks, everything that gets automatically deducted, which also includes my retirement account loan and my husband's contributions as well. I don't know yet what the weeks in between paydays will include yet, because now that we don't have our truck payment that falls on the opposite weeks of our paychecks, we don't really have any automatic transfers happening. We still have the student loans and the mortgage, and I do like to contribute to my daughter's 529. But I guess we'll just have to see what kind of transfers I can make on the off weeks. If you made any transfers this week, then I would love to hear about them in the comments so I can cheer you on as well. I really appreciate you here watching my videos and offering your support. Thank you for being here.